What if the Cowboys' biggest challenge in 2026 isn't winning games, it's surviving their own salary cap? Dallas has invested massive money into star players across the roster, but with several huge contracts now taking up a major chunk of the team's payroll, tough decisions may be coming sooner than fans expect. Some believe these blockbuster deals are necessary to keep the Cowboys in championship contention, while others think a few contracts could become serious problems if production starts to decline. Today we're breaking down the largest contracts on Dallas' roster heading into 2026. And one name near the top might surprise a lot of fans. The Dallas Cowboys are no strangers to making massive financial commitments, and once again the spotlight is shining on one of the biggest contract situations in the entire NFL. Over the last several years, Cowboys fans have watched the organization hand out huge extensions to franchise cornerstones, rewarding players who have proven they can carry the team on their backs, from Dak Prescott securing one of the richest deals in football to CeeDee Lamb cashing in after becoming one of the league's elite receivers. Dallas has never been afraid to spend when they believe they have the right star. But now another fascinating storyline is developing, and it involves one of the most explosive playmakers on the roster. George Pickens has become one of the hottest topics surrounding the Cowboys, and the latest contract update is creating plenty of conversation among fans. While many expected Dallas to push aggressively toward a long-term extension, the organization decided to take a different route. Instead of locking Pickens into a multi-year deal worth tens of millions of dollars, the Cowboys chose to place him under the franchise tag for the 2026 season. That decision means Pickens will earn an incredible $27.3 million in 2026. Let that number sink in for a moment. $27.3 million for one season. It is a staggering amount of money, and when you compare it to the rest of the roster, the number becomes even more eye-opening. In fact, Pickens' franchise tag gives him the second highest cap number on the entire Cowboys roster. The only player carrying a bigger cap hit is franchise quarterback Dak Prescott. That alone tells you just how valuable Dallas views Pickens heading into this season. Of course, Dak Prescott remains the financial king of the Cowboys. His current contract is worth an incredible $240 million, making him one of the highest-paid quarterbacks in football. For 2026, Prescott carries a cap number of approximately $43.5 million. That figure reflects the importance Dallas places on its quarterback and its belief that he remains the centerpiece of the franchise. Right behind Prescott is George Pickens with that massive $27.3 million franchise tag figure. What makes this even more remarkable is that Pickens isn't currently signed to a long-term extension. Despite that fact, his cap number still surpasses every other player on the roster outside of Prescott. Then you look at CeeDee Lamb, who signed a huge contract worth $136 million. Lamb has developed into one of the NFL's most dangerous receivers and remains a critical piece of the Cowboys' offense. Yet his 2026 cap number sits at approximately $19.6 million, significantly lower than what Pickens will count against the salary cap this season. The financial comparisons continue to get interesting when you move down the list. Defensive star Quinnen Williams carries a contract worth $96 million and has a cap number around $21.6 million. Tyler Smith, one of the most important building blocks on the offensive line, also signed a deal worth $96 million, though his cap hit remains much lower. Deron Bland, one of the premier defensive backs on the roster, signed a $90 million contract and carries a cap number of approximately $17 million. Kenny Clark, another major addition to the defense, comes in with a contract worth $64 million and a cap hit of roughly $12.7 million. Jake Ferguson has become one of the most reliable targets in the Cowboys' offense and currently holds a deal worth $50 million. Jalen Thompson, Terrence Steele, and Rashan Gary round out the list of notable contracts on the roster. Yet despite all those substantial deals, none of them carry a cap number anywhere close to George Pickens' franchise tag figure. That's what makes this situation so fascinating. The Cowboys are essentially betting that Pickens can continue performing at an elite level while postponing the long-term negotiations. It's a strategy that carries both advantages and risks. On one hand, Dallas gets another full season to evaluate Pickens before committing to a contract that could potentially exceed $100 million. On the other hand, if Pickens delivers another monster season, his asking price could skyrocket even further. And if his 2025 production is any indication, that scenario is very realistic. Last season, Pickens put together the best year of his career. He hauled in 93 receptions, piled up 1,429 receiving yards, and found the end zone 9 times. Those numbers placed him among the league's most productive receivers and demonstrated exactly why the Cowboys value him so highly. Week after week, Pickens proved capable of taking over games. Whether it was making difficult contested catches, stretching the field vertically, or turning routine plays into explosive gains, he consistently gave opposing defenses problems. His ability to create separation and make plays in critical moments transformed the Cowboys' passing attack and provided another dangerous weapon alongside CeeDee Lamb. For defenses, trying to contain both Lamb and Pickens became a nightmare. Double-teaming one receiver often left the other with favorable matchups, and the Cowboys took full advantage. That offensive balance helped create opportunities throughout the entire offense and made Dallas significantly more difficult to defend. Because of that production, many analysts expected extension talks to heat up quickly. Instead, Dallas chose the franchise tag route, ensuring that Pickens remains with the team while maintaining flexibility for the future. The good news for Cowboys fans is that every indication suggests the organization wants Pickens to remain in Dallas. Reports continue to indicate that the Cowboys have no desire to trade him. Despite speculation that occasionally pops up around star players, the front office appears committed to keeping Pickens in a Cowboys uniform. That commitment is important because elite receivers are becoming increasingly valuable throughout the NFL. Every offseason, the market continues to rise as teams search desperately for game-changing playmakers. Players capable of producing over 1,400 yards don't become available often, and when they do, the price is usually enormous. The Cowboys understand that reality. They know replacing a player like Pickens would be incredibly difficult. They also understand the impact he has on Dak Prescott and the overall offense. Keeping elite talent around your franchise quarterback is one of the most effective ways to remain competitive, and Pickens has already shown he can be exactly that type of player. Still, the franchise tag decision creates an interesting future. If Pickens duplicates or even improves upon last season's production, Dallas may find itself facing an even more expensive negotiation next offseason. The receiver market is constantly evolving, and another dominant campaign could position Pickens among the highest paid receivers in football. That possibility is why so many fans are watching this situation closely. Every catch, every touchdown, and every big performance this season could potentially increase his future value. If he explodes statistically once again, the Cowboys may have no choice but to make a massive financial commitment, and considering how important he has become to the offense, many would argue that commitment would be justified. For now, though, the focus remains on 2026. The Cowboys have assembled a roster they believe can compete at a high level, and George Pickens is expected to be one of the central figures in those plans. With Prescott leading the offense, Lamb commanding attention from defenses, and Pickens coming off a career-best season, expectations will be extremely high. The pressure is certainly there, but so is the opportunity. Pickens now enters the season carrying one of the biggest financial figures on the roster and one of the biggest expectations as well. The Cowboys are betting that he can continue proving he belongs among the NFL's elite receivers. If he does, this contract story could become even bigger over the next year. One thing is certain, George Pickens isn't just playing for another productive season, he's potentially playing for one of the largest contracts in franchise history. And if his recent performances are any indication, Cowboys fans could be watching the beginning of another major payday in Dallas. Before we wrap up, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the Cowboys made the right decision by using the franchise tag on George Pickens, or should they have locked him into a long-term extension immediately? And what kind of numbers do you expect him to put up this season? Drop your predictions below. If you're enjoying the latest Cowboys coverage, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay tuned because there are plenty more Cowboys updates, rumors, and breaking news stories coming your way.